Bratstad,
Here.
Commissioner Reinert,
Here.
Commissioner Schulte,
Here.
Commissioner Look,
Here.
Commissioner Jepson,
Here.
Commissioner Meisner.
Here.
Thank you for that. We have one commissioner out today, Commissioner Gamache. Let's move on to tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brasted, second by Commissioner Schulte. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look, Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Bratstad.
Aye.
And that passes with all present today. Item 5, consider accepting the regular claims paid over $500 and purchase card claims paid for the period ending July 14th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte. Is there a
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Bratstad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye. And that passes unanimously. Item 6 is approval of minutes from July 11th, 2023. County Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Meisner.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brasted. Any additions, subtractions, or changes? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Item 7 is chair's remarks. No real chair's remarks aside from we have a warm county fair going on right now, I'm told. And from those that have attended, we were out of town at a conference, and so we'll have the opportunity to attend some of that. But my understanding is it's going well, and hopefully people are enjoying themselves at the county fair this year. Aside from that, we will move on to committee reports, and we will go right into the management committee report. And the management committee is informational items on that committee report. You can peruse at your leisure. And we do have an additional management item here on your additional agenda. And the first is to approve contract C0010183, a service agreement with Berglund, Baumgartner, and Glasser LLC for low-level township prosecution services based on a flat rate of $3,500 per month through December 31st, 2024, with an option to renew annually. You'll see that information there. As I've learned today, we provide sheriff services, obviously, to townships, and we do the prosecution as well. I was unaware of that in the past, so. But as part of that, we need to staff up appropriately for this. We've done it internally before in the past, and given some of the needs that we have for additional attorneys now, we're looking to outsource this work. So that's what this item is for on item A. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Bratstad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. We'll go on to item B, which is adopting Resolution 2023-M7, Anoka County Cannabis-Free Property Policy. As folks know, there was a change in the legislature this year for recreational cannabis, and this policy will be applied to county-owned property, and kind of the information on that. Not sure if we want to read through this, but I will. Whereas during the 2023 session, the Minnesota Legislature approved Bill H.R. 100 legalizing adult use cannabis, parts of which will become effective on August 1st, 2023. And whereas portions of the new law will allow the use and possession of cannabis in certain places specified in the bill, and whereas while the new law prohibits use and possession of cannabis in some areas and locations, the legislation remains unclear and is subject to more than one reasonable interpretation, which may cause confusion. Whereas county employees and the general public would benefit from a local policy clarifying the locations where use and possession of cannabis on Anoka County property is restricted, and whereas Anoka County's mission is to enhance the health, safety, and quality of life of its residents and communities in a respectful, innovative, and fiscally responsible way. And whereas the Anoka County Board of Commissioners is committed to continuing its leadership in preventing harm, and it wishes to prevent negative health effects that can result from the use of cannabis, and whereas the Anoka County Board wants to promote the health and well-being of its employees, its clients, and the public by preventing them from being exposed to the known and unknown health effects of secondhand smoke from individuals smoking or vaping on county-owned property and from being exposed to other forms of cannabis use. And whereas the Anoka County wants to help correct the misperception, especially among youth, that cannabis use in whatever form is a prevalent and acceptable behavior, and whereas a cannabis-free property policy may also have a positive influence on cannabis users who are trying to quit. Therefore, be it resolved that Anoka County, by and through its Board of Commissioners, hereby approves the Anoka County Cannabis-Free Property Policy effective July 31st, 2023, known as the policy which prohibits the use of possession of cannabis on all Anoka County-owned properties as defined in this policy. Be it further resolved that awareness of and compliance with this policy shall be encouraged through signage, awareness, and education. Be it further resolved that the Anoka County Administrator and Anoka County departments are directed to communicate this policy to employees, clients, and the public in cooperation with the Facilities Maintenance and Construction Department to create and post appropriate and approved signage regarding this ban. And be it further resolved that the Anoka County Administrator, with the approval of the Anoka County Board Chair and in consultation with the Anoka County Attorney's Office, is authorized to make future amendments to this policy.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Schulte.
I would offer the resolution.
The resolution's been offered. Is there discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Schulte.
just a knowledge for our employees and the public that this is a policy that we are going to vote on, but that it will be followed up with an ordinance that will be legally enforceable once we get due notice to the public, and then we can vote on that as a board. And we can implement that ordinance, so there will be legal ramifications to breaking the policy. But that's not what we're doing today. Today is just the policy itself.
Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Commissioner Schulte. I was just going to suggest that we kind of have a little bit further discussion or education around this policy versus ordinance, and then once we vote on that ordinance, that will replace this policy. Correct? Or do they both live together? And then I have one other question about one of the clauses here. And I'm sorry I did not catch this in the management meeting, but when we're talking about, what is that, 1, 2, 3, it's the fourth clause, county employees and the general public would benefit from a local policy clarifying the location where use and possession of cannabis on Anoka County property is restricted. So it's just the word possession that, because this is legal, starting on August 1st. So that was my, I guess, my only technical question about this. And then also, does the policy and the ordinance live together once we have an ordinance?
County Attorney Johnson.
Thank you to the board and Commissioner Meisner in particular to your questions. Both the policy and the ordinance will live together. The policy is separate and apart from the ordinance. The ordinance will prescribe certain conduct that is prohibited, and then there's a civil penalty. It's a petty misdemeanor that would be attached to it. With respect to the policy, it really applies to all county property, and that includes parks and places of business and things like that. And if you get deeper into the policy, you'll see where possession is prohibited and where it's not. So for example, in county offices with employees, it is prohibited. But in places like people's homes or in their vehicles or things like that, it is likely not prohibited. And that is further defined in the actual policy, not in the resolution. That whereas clause, the fourth one down, is really to say it's important for us to be clear about where those things are prohibited and where they're not.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions? Seeing none, let's do a roll call vote on this one.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. And that concludes the Management Committee report. We will move on to the Transportation Committee report, and Commissioner Brassad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our Transportation Committee met on July 12th. We have a few items here. The first one is that the committee recommends approval of a resolution supporting the funding application to MnDOT for the 2024-2025 Section 5310 Transit Coordination Assistant Project. And this is to develop mobility, management, marketing, and education programs for transit-dependent residents. Joe, we've done this in the past, and is there anything you'd like to add or say about that?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner, Mr. Chair, members of the board. My name is Joe McPherson. I'm the Chief Officer for the Transportation Division and County Engineer. This is a grant that we've applied for and successfully received in the past. The intent of this grant application is really looking at enhancements to how we deliver our services to those that need them. For example, we're currently looking at a potential software program that will help streamline how folks can either, they can visit it via the website, or they can call in and get directions on how to reach it. And then it would be an online appointment booking software program. So something to make things easier for those that need to use these services.
Okay, is there an offer for the resolution?
So moved. Offer the resolution.
By Commissioner Jepson, thank you. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That resolution is adopted. Item 2.
The committee recommends approval of a resolution authorizing Anoka County to enter into a local road improvement program agreement with MnDOT for the environmental analysis, preliminary engineering, and final design of CASA 56, which is Ramsey Boulevard, and CASA 57, which is Sunfish Lake Boulevard on US Highway 10, 169 in the city of Ramsey. Joe, we've heard a lot about this area.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. Members of the board, so this is very similar to some of the previous action items that have come before you. The LRIP agreement, again, is just a mechanism or a document that allows us to receive money, a reimbursement from some of the bond dollars that we received during the process where we were securing funding for this project. So all this work is done. We're getting ready to bid this project for construction, but this is really just some cleanup work where in order to recoup some of the costs that we've spent, this is a process to get that done.
I will offer the resolution. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Item 3.
The committee recommends approval of a resolution authorizing the county engineer to acquire the property identified as 05322444-0015 in the city of Andover. And Joe, do you want to tell us why the county has an interest in this?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. So this is an item that came before the board before. We had asked for authorization to negotiate with the landowner. Like I've talked about before, when a property becomes available along one of our main corridors or any of our county roads, and it looks like a good opportunity for us to acquire it via a negotiation process versus going through a condemnation process, we like to take advantage of that if it makes sense. This particular parcel, it is a parcel with a lower area in it. It would be a prime location for a future pond when we do improvements along County Road 9. So the landowner had reached out to us, let us know that they're interested in selling it. And so we've reached a handshake agreement on this one, a negotiated settlement, and we're ready to move forward.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I'll offer it.
The resolution's been offered by Commissioner Schulte. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 4.
The committee recommends approval to enter into a joint powers agreement with the city of Oak Grove for the replacement of Bridge 02519 on CASA 22, which is Viking Boulevard, over the Rum River in the city of Oak Grove, and authorizing the county administrator to execute the agreements. Joe?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner, members of the board. So over the course of the last 2 years, we've been working on assembling the contract documents and plans for this bridge replacement project, along with some of the other projects we've talked about, which is just to the west here. You've got the intersection of Rum River Boulevard and Viking Boulevard. We're proposing to put a new roundabout at that location, which will help with traffic operations and safety. And then that segment west of Rum River Boulevard on Viking, it's showing its age, needs to be replaced. So we're actually gonna do a concrete pavement project on that. And all three of these will be lumped together. They'll be bid separately because of the funding mechanisms involved, but they'll happen at the same time. So we're shooting for 2024, so it'll be next year, and we're proposing to get all this work done in 1 year. So this item before you right now is the cost share agreement with the city of Oak Grove. It's a pretty small amount, it's around $50,000. Via our cost share policy, they're required to participate in some of the curb and gutter that goes along with this project.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Brasted. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item 5.
Okay, also relating to Viking Boulevard, is the committee recommends approval to enter into a joint powers agreement with the city of Oak Grove for the intersection improvements on CASA 22 Viking at Rum River Boulevard. And same project, a little bit of what you mentioned.
Exactly, yep.
I'll move that, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion by Commissioner Brasted, second by Commissioner Schulte. Any discussion on this one? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously.
Okay, I also have one item on a chair's report, and because of timing, we're bringing it today. And this would be to consider recommending award of contract in the amount of $1,374,779.10 to Forest Lake Contracting. This is for intersection improvements on Coon Rapids Boulevard at Mississippi Boulevard in the city of Coon Rapids. Joe?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. So again, we're doing our best to try and estimate these projects when we put the plans together. You've seen over the course of the last couple of board meetings where we've had some bids that have come in substantially lower, and we've had a couple that have come in substantially higher. This year, again, is one where several of the items within the project actually resulted in pretty high unit prices. So this one did come in over the engineer's estimate, but after reviewing the bids that we received, they were all consistent, and the prices look very consistent. I think this is just, again, the reality that we're in today with the cost of materials, the cost of labor, and so we are supporting approval of this project. This project is more than just a signal project. You can see the price there is about $1.5 million. It does involve some pretty substantial geometric changes for this intersection. On the south leg right now, the lanes don't line up actually with the north leg. And so we're doing quite a bit of work there to add some additional through lanes, turn lanes, and so that'll simplify operations and make it easier for those that are using the corridor to understand what's going on. So a lot of improvements going on here beyond the signal.
Commissioner Schulte.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Yeah, this is a troublesome intersection in Coon Rapids, has been for a long time, not the least of which it's right by the college. So there's a lot of younger users of the intersection. And a busy McDonald's is also on the corner, and then kitty corner is the Speedway gas station. So there's lots of activity, and it's a very busy area. This also includes pavement repair for considerable chunk that wasn't done when we did the piece to the west and the piece to the east. So this is connecting about 2 blocks of new asphalt in conjunction with the reconfiguration and the new semaphore, which I assume will be the galvanized steel and not painted.
Correct.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Any further discussion on this? Glad to see we're getting this done. I know we get a few calls on this one. Why did you leave that, So makes sense now for people when they see the construction, but anyways. Okay, no further questions on this one. We'll go to a roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
That passes unanimously.
And that concludes my transportation reports.
Thank you, Commissioner Brassard. We'll go to the Finance and Capital Improvements Committee report. The Finance and Capital Improvements Committee met on July 18th. We had no public comment, and we have a couple of action items for consideration today. The first is the committee recommends the county board approve contract C0010157 with In Harris Computer Corporation out of Ottawa, Ontario for the expansion and integration of Inova cashiering and enterprise revenue management system with a new Workday financial system in an amount not to exceed $740,000, which includes a $23,500 contingency. You'll see the attachment there. This was part of the Workday project when it was originally put in motion. So this is the cashiering portion of that to seamlessly work with Workday. So is there a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Nay.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And that passes with one in opposition. Item 2, we'll move to is the committee recommends the county board increase the impressed cash funds for the St. Francis Library for $50, bringing the total impressed balance to $170. People might wonder why we have to do this, but any increase in impressed funds at all, if you want to increase it by $1, has to come before this board. But they need a little more cash in there for fines and things of that nature that they need to deal with on a financial basis there. So we want to make sure there's not too much cash there that it might be an incentive for other activities, but at any rate. So this is just a simple increase. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Jepson,
Second.
second by Commissioner Brassad. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye. And that passes unanimously. And just under informational items, I want to kind of comment on the investment report. We have investment reports periodically for the quarters. And while people see interest rates that are going up, for housing, that's not a positive thing. For investments, especially county investments, it is a positive thing. And as we are looking at some budget concerns that we have, these are additional dollars that come in as a result of the investments that we have that we can apply to these budgets. So things are going in the right direction for the investments that we have, which are going to help out at least in terms of the budget discussions that we'll be having here coming up in September. So aside from that, that completes the finance report. We will move on to the human service report and Commissioner Reinert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My committee met on Tuesday, July 18th at 8:30 a.m., and there was no public comment. We do have a couple items on the consent agenda for you to consider today, and if there are no questions on those, we'll take some action, and I'll move approval.
There's a motion on the consent. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner, moved by Commissioner Reinert. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye. That passes unanimously.
Now we move to the regular agenda. We've got one item under social services, and this is to consider recommending the county board enter into contract number C0010039 with Guild Inc. for homeless street outreach services in the amount of $1,182,114. And this contract will go through, let's see, it's July 1st, 2023 through 25, so a 2-year contract. We've been working with this group since 2001. This contract does include an increase in FTEs, and this is state funded.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Meisner,
Second.
second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. Item 4.
Okay, we'll move to public health and environmental services, and we've got a couple items there. The first one is to consider recommending the county board enter into contract number C0009410. This is an amendment with the city of Coon Rapids in an additional amount of $64,987.80 for a total amount of $281,613.80, and this is for a municipal residential recycling program. Basically, what's happened in the city of Coon Rapids is we've got a lot of people using their facility there that aren't from the city, so this is to help the city out and reimburse some of their expense.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte,
Second.
second by Commissioner Meisner. Discussion. I'd just like to compliment actually the city of Coon Rapids. They do a fantastic job at this facility. Unlike maybe any other community in the county, this is certainly a goal for other communities to reach in terms of what they're accomplishing there, and certainly the services they offer to other residents that don't live necessarily in that city. So very happy to support this additional amount for them. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item 5.
All right, number 5 is the committee recommends the county board adopt resolution number 2023 HS10. And this is recognizing probation officers and probation officer assistants in Anoka County during National Pretrial Probation and Parole Supervision Week. Kind of a long title, but this is to recognize them.
Is there an offer of the resolution?
I offer the resolution.
Okay, the resolution's been offered by Commissioner Meisner. Discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe we do this every year, and I think normally this is like under chair's remarks, and Dylan maybe talks a little bit about this particular department. So I just wanted to, I guess, verbalize the appreciation that I have for everyone doing this work. And then I don't know if Dylan will be doing any presentation in the future, but I want to say normally that does happen. But anyway, so thank you. And I'm sorry I did not get the usual kind of highlight.
Okay. Okay, we have an offer of the resolution. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Or the-
Mr. Chair, the rest of my report is routine and informational. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Reinert. We will go now to the Information Technology Report, and we will go to Commissioner Reinert, who is Vice Chair in the Chair's absence.
Okay, yeah, our committee met on Tuesday, July 18th at 10:30 a.m. There was no public comment. And we do have one action item for you today, and this is that the committee recommends the county board approve contract number C001-0156 with Kilmer Electric Company. And this is for $270,000, $100 with a change order of $18,907 for a total of $289,007. And this is for, let's see. Yeah, this is for the Rum River campus, and this is to run cabling work at the Rum River campus for connection purposes.
Is there a motion to approve this contract?
I'll move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte,
Second?
second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Schulte.
Yeah, just that this is one more step in being able to abandon the tunnels and make these properties independent of each other out there, so not required on the central plant. And this is removing the IT cabling out of those tunnels and running in separate conduits.
Okay, further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
That passes unanimously.
Yeah, next on our agenda here, actually, it's a chair report. And this is IT chair recommends that the county board approve purchase under contract number C0008052 with DocuSign. This is a 3-year contract in the amount of $553,732.22 with a change order of $18,450 for a total of $572,182.22.
Move approval.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Meisner. Discussion? Commissioner Schulte.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, well, this seems like a lot of money for electronic signatures. It saves our staff an inordinate amount of time and work and mileage and everything necessary to acquire signatures. This meets all the legal requirements to have signatures placed on documents. And then we did go with a 3-year contract as opposed to a lesser contract because of how arduous it is to switch over vendors in the middle of a term. I mean, this way we can run it out longer, everybody can get used to the process and understand it, and it will be funded through ARPA dollars.
Commissioner Meisner.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I see that Gabby is out there. So yeah, and actually it was Commissioner Schulte. So originally this was for a 1-year contract, but then after his suggestion and some really good discussion. But this is a very quick turnaround, and so I just wanted to acknowledge that because there was a lot of questions then about if we change this over and if the overage, I mean, all kinds of details. So you delivered very quickly. And thank you, Commissioner Schulte, because this is definitely a lot more efficient, and especially as to your point with the ARPA funds. So thank you.
Further discussion, Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, further comment, we did start with DocuSign, and I believe the numbers were about 20,000 uses or envelopes, as they call it, annually, and then it increased quickly as all departments started to use and become familiar with the process, and now I think we're at about 80,000 envelopes or signatures a year, and especially in the attorney's office, chasing down signatures is very time-consuming, and I think each of these envelopes is about a couple bucks, so it does save the county a lot of money.
Okay, further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
That passes unanimously. And that concludes your IT report.
That does include my IT report. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll move on to the intergovernmental and community relations report and turn it back to you, Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, I guess my show today. So my committee met on July 18th, Tuesday at 2 p.m., and there were no public comments. We do have a couple items for action today. Let's see, let me get rid of this on my computer here. The first item is for the board to approve contract C001-0158 with Campbell Forensic Anthropology LLC, and this is for forensic services with a varying cost depending upon service.
Is there an offer, or is there a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Jepson,
Second?
second by Commissioner Schulte. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item 2.
Yeah, item 2 is committee recommends county board adopt resolution number 2023 IG04, and this resolution accepting donations from patrons. And I'm just going to read those here. Let me get to the report here. February through May, Book Cart donated $2,632.73. Karen Wade, $10,000. Mary Oliver, $50. Anoka Women of Today, $50. Friends of Anoka County Library, $12,500. Emmanuel Witherspoon, $10. Anonymous, $90.07. Debbie and David Green, $25. And St. Tim Council of Catholic Women, $150.14. And I'll move this resolution.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Reinhardt. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Jepson.
No, I just wanted to point out a couple of things here. Just the Friends of Anoka County Library, $12,500. That's an incredible amount of money, and they have gotten much more involved in the community. The word is spreading. People are participating and supporting. So I just wanted to personally thank them for this very generous donation, as well as Karen Wade. That donation of $10,000 is in memory of her husband, who was a huge supporter of the Anoka County Libraries, and those dollars will specifically go towards materials purchased. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for that commentary. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Item 3.
Item 3 is to approve the renewing of contract number C08654A with Dave Johnson for lobbying and legal services.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Commissioner Brassad, second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion. Commissioner Reiner.
Yeah, I just might want to mention here, we've got this contract and then the following one for more lobbying and legal services. And the return on this investment for the county is incredible if you look at the outcomes from even just this last legislative session.
Yeah, I will comment as well. These two individuals, Dave Johnson, we're working on first here, and then Ward Inus, a second coming up. Both of them are well-respected to the legislature. Both of them have their ear to the ground. Both of them understand Anoka County's needs and certainly are there to represent us when there's legislation that may not be within our best interests going through, or when we're applying for bond dollars for road projects. We've been doing a lot of that lately. So these two have been instrumental in paving the way, no pun intended, for those projects that we've been working on. Very successful on 10, very successful on 65, and I'm thrilled to continue this relationship with them. They are an important member of our team here at Anoka County. So, if there's no further discussion, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Item 4.
Item 4 is to approve renewing the contract number C008653A with Ward Inus, and this is for lobbying and legal services as well.
Is there a motion to approve? Moved by Commissioner Schulte,
Second.
second by Commissioner Brassad. Discussion on this one. Again, same thing applies. Commissioner Schulte.
Mr. Chair, I know you singled out transportation as our big successes, but there are many others. Whether it's through our elections, whether it's through human services, we have them working on just about everything. It's just so much easier to talk about transportation because you got one big road and big projects where the other ones are much smaller, but they can be very intricate. Human services has some really interesting ones, and they do a fabulous job on those as well.
Yep. Thank you for that. If there's no further discussion, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye, and that passes unanimously.
Mr. Chair, the rest of the report is routine and informational. Back to you.
Thank you, Commissioner Reinert. We'll move on to the Property Records and Taxation Committee report, and Commissioner Schulte.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our committee had the opportunity to meet on July 18th at 11:30 in Conference Room 772. Nobody spoke during our open mic portion of the meeting, and our agenda was that of a budget presentation for 2024. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. We will go to the Public Safety Committee report, and Commissioner Brassad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So our committee met on July 11th. We have one action item from that meeting, and that is that we recommend approval and execution of a contract. This is for the Radiological Emergency Preparedness Grant in the amount not to exceed $6,000 for a term of July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2025. What these funds do is they help Anoka County prepare for, respond to, and recover from potential radiological emergencies due to the nuclear power plants that we are near. And I'm happy to move that.
Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Schulte. Moved by Commissioner Brassad. Seems a little low for radiological preparedness, but we'll take what we can get.
Exactly.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye,
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
and that passes unanimously.
Okay, there was a couple things that came in right after our Public Safety Committee, and we really didn't want to wait on them. So I have a couple items on the chair's report. And the first one would be to recommend that the county board approve a professional services agreement with Motivations in the amount of $180,000 for a 3-month term. I believe pretty much all of us were at our Public Safety Committee when this whole dispatch on demand idea was presented to us. We're all aware how many dispatchers were down in our ECC, and we've got this lined up, and it's basically what it sounds. It's dispatchers on demand. They hire only experienced dispatchers with 3+ years. We're looking at this as a temporary solution. That's why it's only a 3-month contract right now. But they've got all the pieces in place to look and sign the contract as soon as we approve it.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the contract?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte. Second by Commissioner Meisner
Yes.
and Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you. And a question. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I see that we do have flexibility in the contract. And my only, I guess, question, I thought originally when we were talking about this, that it was going to be for 6 months was sort of the time frame that was given out for like an adequate time. So I guess I'm just wondering then if things are looking better in that department, or if it was simply the fact that we've got a lot of flexibility, so then, after 3 months, if we are still in need, we'll just re-up it for another 3 months, do you think? Or what does that plan look like?
That's the impression that I got, was that we would have the opportunity to see how it goes. We're the first county in Minnesota to use this. So, we're hoping for the best, and that 3 months less will let us, reevaluate at that time.
Okay.
But it sounds like they're open for more. And the amount of overtime that we're incurring right now and the burnout, we just know really anything with first responders and public safety, we're in really a dire situation to find people to work in these jobs. So I think it's a creative idea that Dee and Val have seen and heard good things about, but it'll definitely be something new to Minnesota.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Schulte.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, the first 3 months, it locks us into a specific number of hours. And then when that contract expires, we'll be able to reduce those hours if we didn't use them all in the first 3-month period. So that's the advantage of breaking it into 2 3-month contracts as opposed to a 6-month.
Okay.
We can get that fixed rate on the first 3 months and then lower it if necessary or increase it if we have to. So I think that gives us that flexibility after that 3-month mark.
Okay, thank you.
I think this is going to be a good move, and certainly, we can test the waters and see how it works. I will have that I did reach out or try and solicit Hunter Carlson, who works down at Taco Tuesday at Casa Rio, and tell him about what a career this could be, an exciting career for him. So he's a very very smart young man, and I know he's looking for jobs and that sort of thing. But to that point, I think we need to, reach out to people that we think might fit these type of categories, because I think without a doubt we could say it's going to be an exciting job. It's good pay certainly too. So while people may not consider this as a career, it may only be because they don't know that it's a career that they can sign up for. So anyways, encourage people to do that and reach out to folks. Commissioner Meisner.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And on the same topic, I believe it was Commissioner Reiner that suggested, well, can we look at, part-time positions as well to sort of cobble in some support for this. So I believe that is also being looked at. So because this is a very intense job. So maybe for some people, a part-time doing this kind of work would be the right fit. So we're looking at all things for long-term solutions. Thank you.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on this. I'm going to, because it's a contract, we'll do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item 2.
Okay, these 2 items, A and B, are just the county board to approve the application, the acceptance, and execution of the following grants between the state of Minnesota and our Anoka County Emergency Management. The first one is the 2022 Emergency Management Performance Grant in the amount of $143,862 with a term of January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023. And the second is similar, but it's the 2022 Emergency Management Performance American Rescue Plan Act grant in the amount of $85,227 with the term of January 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2023. I'll move both of those.
Okay, we'll do roll call votes here independently on them. So is there, there's a motion for item A. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so moved by Commissioner Brassad, second by Commissioner Jepson. Yes.
I
Commissioner
thought I heard Commissioner Brass said that she was going to move both. So I just wanted to clarify what we're voting on, if it's both or individually.
Let's separate
The
them.
chair wants to separate them.
Let's separate them because they're separate roll call votes here. So she'll move item A, is that correct?
Correct.
And you'll second item A. Any discussion on item A? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
Excuse me. Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
And item A passes unanimously. Item B, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Reinert,
Second.
second by Commissioner Jepson. Any discussion on item B? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner Reinert.
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. Item 3.
And this is a new item. I would recommend the county board approve a memorandum of understanding for school resource services between Legacy Christian Academy and the Anoka County Sheriff's Office for the 2023-2024 for the term of August 1st, 2023 to May 31st, 2024. And we do have our sheriff here to comment and, answer any questions. Legacy Christian Academy directly reached out to the sheriff looking for some coverage and some help. We are all well aware of different situations across the country. So I personally think this is a good move, and the sheriff is willing to provide those services. So I'm happy to move this.
Okay.
I'll second it.
There's a motion, a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Meisner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, so I've got two questions. The first one is, so I assume like this is pretty much like the model of a city police officer, and they're going in to be a community liaison. So this isn't about like a punitive type of role. And then my other question is this the first that the sheriff's department is partnering with the school in this way? Because I guess I didn't really realize it, but it has had good success with, again, the city police departments. I'll just speak for my district, for Fridley and Columbia Heights. It has gone well. So, Sheriff?
Sure.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to talk about this. As Commissioner Brassad mentioned, tragedies in other places have caused schools to reevaluate their security procedures. Legacy Academy is a growing asset in Andover. It's a big campus, if anybody hasn't driven by there lately. We're not talking about a few students, we're talking about many hundreds of students and parents that are rightly concerned about the safety and well-being of their kids while they're there. That said, the school proactively reached out to me. They're wanting a law enforcement presence for a number of reasons. Of course, I'm grateful for the opportunity to build relationships with young people. I'm a big supporter of resource officers and being in schools. But the secondary purpose of the school resource officer being there is to enhance the physical security, make recommendations, train the staff, be reactive to the administration when they're concerned about something that might happen in the universe. I think it's a really smart thing for them to do, and I would encourage any school campus to explore that. It's important to note that Legacy Academy is paying the full cost of the resource officer while that person is there. But yes, that person will physically be present in the school, will physically interact with the students. It's a positive relationship piece. It's not punitive in any way. Frankly, we want nothing to do with school discipline itself. We only get involved if there's a specific criminal matter. That said, the primary purpose is more for the building safety and security. And the other perk regarding these school resource contracts is they're during sort of it's August 1st is the contract, but it's basically when school starts through the winter time. which isn't so stressful staff-wise for us in the sheriff's office. It's summertime is the time of year where we really struggle with our staffing. So it's really good timing for that kind of contract.
Okay, Commissioner Meiser.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, just a follow-up question with the staffing too. So I mean, I assume that's going to be, one individual kind of assigned for this area. And then are you going to have to replace, you know what I mean? Like a person that normally, because this is new, so.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Meisner, no, we won't be asking to replace the position. Frankly, when we're fully staffed, it isn't really a burden. Like I said, most of our staffing burden occurs during the summer months, which is vacation time. That's when it really gets troublesome for staffing. But I have no intention of being a law enforcement agency that runs shorthanded. This topic has been discussed a lot with, I know, various commissioners and in the universe as a whole. But it really isn't rocket science to be a fully staffed law enforcement agency. If you're an agency that enjoys broad community support to include citizens and elected officials, if you're an agency that has positive culture within the office, and if you're an agency where your wages are competitive with your peer agencies, you're going to be able to attract the limited pool of law enforcement students that are graduating each year. The places that are really struggling are the ones that can't provide all three of those things. And frankly, we in Anoka County are taking advantage of that because there are many other law enforcement agencies and or cities that aren't meeting that three-legged stool test.
Right, thank you.
Okay, further discussion? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
And that passes unanimously.
And that concludes my public safety reports.
Thank you, Commissioner Brastad. We will move on to item 9, which is consider approving contract C0010184 and adjusted employment agreement for Bethany Fountain Lindbergh effective August 1st, 2023 for services as Chief Deputy County Attorney.
I'd move approval, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Commissioner Schulte. Is there a second by Commissioner Jepson? Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye, and that passes unanimously. Item 10 is consider approving contract C0010185 employment agreement with Bill Jacobson and appointing Bill as the Anoka County Chief Deputy Sheriff effective July 1st, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
Happy to move this, Mr. Chair.
Moved by Commissioner Brastad,
Second.
second by Commissioner Jepson. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Jepson,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner Reiner,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye. And that passes unanimously. Item 11, we're going to consider approving the following liquor license application as reviewed by and consented to by the Township, Sheriff, and Attorney for Linwood Fire Association. It's a 4-day temporary on-sale liquor license for Township of Linwood, September 9th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Reinert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schulte. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Item 12 is committee appointments. We're going to consider appointing and reappointing the following to the Community Corrections Advisory Board for terms ending July 2025. We have, we're appointing Kevin Titus, representing District 7, appointing Mohammed Farah, representing a member at large, and reappointing Dr. Ed Evans, representing District 1. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Meisner.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jepson. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those appointments and reappointments are approved. We'll move on to item B, which is consider for informational purposes my appointment of Chief Deputy Bill Jacobson to the Midwest Regional Forensics Laboratory Advisory Board as a law enforcement representative replacing Paul Ireland for program year 2023. So we'll make that appointment. And if there is nothing else to come before our board today, we will stand adjourned. Thank you.